Simon Khan here for Seconds Out with Richard Riakporhe ahead of a date with Destiny June 15th against Chris billam-smith, Selhurst Park. Richard, good to see you. Looking good spirits, looking in good shape heading into the last throes of the training camp. How's life treating you?
Yeah, life is good. Life is good right now. Just chilling, relaxing, and yeah, just getting into about to go into fight week. Yeah, I'm feeling good.
When you first faced Chris billam-smith and beat him, did you believe that you'd be facing him again? Did you feel that he was on a direct trajectory to win a world title? Do you think that you were going to be fighting him again?
I knew I'd probably be fighting him again, but yeah, I think I was pretty much in my mind ahead of him because I knew I was going to go on to achieve more, really, or achieve things before him.
How much of that first fight do you feel you can take into this fight next weekend, and how much do you feel he can take in from his point of view of the version of Riakporhe he fought?
Yeah, of course. There's going to be a lot of similar type of elements in a fight. You know, he's dealing with the same guy that can punch, that's physically strong. You know, them things are not going to change. I'm actually stronger now, so let's just say an enhanced version, I'd say. You know. And yeah, we have to deal with each other. With Chris billam-smith, same thing. A bit more intelligent, maybe more stronger. He seems a little bigger than he was when I fought him. So yeah, three different things will change, but you know, what stays the same.
I noted that first of all, you've had quite a few back and forths, and in the press conference and in subsequent conversations that you had with him, it feels like, from my point of view, he's trying to chip away at you, make you feel like you're tripping up on your words and maybe not saying the right things. Have you felt that he's trying to, maybe make you fall into some traps and trying to, get some sort of mental edge on you ahead of the fight? And do you feel that will happen in the fight week as well?
Yeah, I think, you probably... I noticed that he was snapping a little bit in the press conference, trying to make me trip up and stuff, but they don't know the opponent that they're dealing with, and that's an L in itself. You need to know who you're dealing with, and none of that stuff phases me. At the end of the day, we're gonna fight, and trying to get into my mind, you're gonna have to do a way better job than try to trip over, try to interrupt me in a press conference when I'm talking, because I know what I'm saying.
I noted that in some of the conversations that you've had when talking about Chris, you feel like you'll be able to get to him with your power, but it'll be a sense of, if you get to him, we're breaking him down for the eventual finish. Do you feel that Chris has taken a lot of shots throughout his career, and this is set up for you to chip away at him in the ring and get that eventual finish?
Yeah, I think he's definitely taken on a lot of damage in his career. People say you take more damage in sparring, which I believe, and you take damage in the fights as well. To an extent, and obviously depending on who, but he's definitely taken damage in the fights. So just imagine what he's probably taken in the sparring, and obviously rumors through the grapevine, they will say that he gets hit a lot in sparring. That's going to take a toll. That's definitely going to take a toll. I'm not banking on that. I mean, we're trying to take him out with one punch. We didn't prepare to knock somebody out with one punch, and we don't prepare to do that, actually. We always have a strategy of being able to be fluid. Whatever the opponent tries to bring, or however they come, and so yeah, it's pretty much I'm just more focused on myself. I'm not focused on Chris billam-smith and what his game is. I just know the best Richard beats every single cruiserweight and is number one.
Between the first fight and now, how often, or if at all, had you sparred with him?
Yeah, I haven't sparred with him after the first fight, but I sparred with him before. Okay. We had the first fight, and you can't really take anything from it. Sparring, man. I ain't a sparring champion.
Do you expect the fight to be an attritional affair? Because that's some of the ways that Chris gets his success, by being able to grab and get people into the deep waters. Do you expect that to be a major part of Chris's game plan to try and get this over to the latter half of the fight?
Yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe they're banking on that. I won't be fit and try to draw me out into the next half of the fight. But I actually get stronger as the fight goes on, and that's one thing that they probably haven't realized, or maybe they know. I don't know. It depends on what type of study they've been doing. I know everybody's doing the video analysis and stuff like that, but unfortunately with that, there's some things that are immeasurable. You can't measure it. So they're gonna have to deal with the midnight train when it comes to that night.
You always come across as someone who's very calm and measured in the responses, but I suppose there's naturally an element of pressure because this is a world title fight and you'll be looking to prove what you set out to achieve, but also you're doing this at Selhurst Park, which means that the fans really are there to come see you. He'll have his away sport, of course, but they're there to see you, lift up that title. Do you feel that sense of needing to bring that title to Selhurst Park and get that win?
Yeah, of course. I've always put pressure on myself. I think pressure is something that we have to deal with as individuals in life. Everybody has pressure on them to achieve a certain goal in many respects in life, and it's just the same for me. I put pressure on myself to perform. My coaches have instructions for me. I need to carry the instructions out, and I like to do what I need to do. So everybody's happy, as well as myself. So yeah, of course, I'll put pressure on myself, but I feel like the pressure just helps me to perform better. Because if without the pressure, it's like there's no urgency, there's no enthusiasm. You need pressure.
When was the last time you were nervous for a fight night?
I'm always nervous. But nerves are good. Nerves are good. It's all about not letting it overwhelm you. And I guess once you prepared properly for a fight, there's nothing to worry about. Everything is taken care of. You know what I'm saying? And the result, people more focus on the fights, but it's the training behind the fights. Like Muhammad Ali said, the fight is won and lost way before we come under the lights. And once you understand that concept, all you have to do is just defeat yourself, man, in training. Once you've done that, then you're victorious. It's just a matter of time before it manifests.
Got a lot of observers, and I know that Riakporhe, off the back of his second victory over Maurice Bridis, he's said he's got a keen eye on the winner of this fight. Do you look at some of the cruiserweight landscape and say, look, I'm going to capture this world title, I'm going to deal on June 15th, and then I'm coming for you? Or do you have other aspirations maybe at heavyweight?
Yeah, I think cruiserweight is a great division right now. It's jumping. Just obviously, I'm sure everybody saw the announcement how Usyk says he wants to come back to cruiserweight to regain his titles. That he's given up. So it's really interesting, and I'm really happy to be in the mix and involved in these conversations. So I want to see how it goes. I want to obviously focus on what's in front of me right now. It's not good. I don't believe in overlooking opponents and planning ahead, really, like when it comes to like other fights and stuff. But we'll deal with this, and then we can have this conversation after.
So you welcome the return of Usyk to the cruiserweight division?
Of course, I would love to share the ring with a legend. He's a legend in my eyes, and I want to be in and around the legends and be able to look back at one of my fights with one of the legends as well, as I see him a legend in myself. So, two legends.
Richard, just get your thoughts on a couple of other things before I let you go, get back to your training, get back to focus on the fight night. First of all, off of the back of the heavyweight shift in the landscape from the fights last weekend, we saw Dubois come up with a victory over Hrgovic. That now sets up Dubois versus AJ potentially for later on this year. What do you think of the potential of that fight?
Yeah, I think that's a great fight for the fans. We've seen Dubois. He's had some real hard times in the ring not too long ago, and now he's come back and flipped the script. He's beaten guys that on paper people wasn't really favoring him to come away with a victory, but he's getting it done. He's hungry. I can see his eyes. His eyes it all shows that he's hungry and he's on a mission. So that makes a dangerous fighter. He always has a chance. So yeah, I think that's great for the British boxing as well. We want to see more stadium fights, more things happening down here. I read the comments online and talking about what's going on in the world and boxing terms, and they want to be able to come to stadiums in the UK and watch boxing like the old days. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So if that happens at September, yeah, I'm definitely going to be there.
Were you there for any of the spars at all? I was speaking to Fraser and he said he got to see some of them firsthand. And Dubois, I think when he first came through, or at least when he was early in his professional career, he was sort of maybe latching onto that they had a spar and either he knocked out or knocked down anti-Joshua. Did you see any of the spars between them in the past, and what were they like if you did see him?
I didn't see any spars, but Daniel told me he spoke to me about some of the spars, because I've known Daniel for a very long time. We actually even boxed at the same club for a period of time, amateur box, and even Peacocks, even when he was boxing at Peacocks. And I know his family, his dad, everything. They see me since I was there boxing as a kid. So yeah, like I've had some conversations and stuff, but sparring, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not the real thing. So you can only take so much out there, and everybody's got a story. So I don't really care.
Just to shift the gears slightly, you've got a story as well. You've made some headlines as well too with, I guess, a friendship with a certain pop culture icon in the form of Madonna. What can you tell us? Is she going to be there ringside, and how do you two meet, I guess?
Yeah, she might be there. She said she wanted to come to the fight. We'll see. She has things, as you know, she's busy. So we'll see. But she said a few times she wanted to come down to the fight. And yeah, we're just friends. And yeah, I met her in the fashion world.
You've got one sort of foot as well in the fashion world. I see some of these pictures and I see that you've got obviously succeeding in that area. Is that somewhere you've wanted to keep pushing alongside the boxing? Yeah,
it's something that I just do for fun, really. It's like almost like a I got an opportunity one day and I took it. Modeled for some big brands, which it's a major. So, and that's it. But really, my head is in the boxing. I'm more focused on that.
Just switching back to the boxing final, the last couple of things. Fury versus Usyk rematch. Who are you backing to win the rematch between the two?
I'm not too sure. I think it's a fight that can go either way. Obviously, we know Usyk is a technician, but Fury he's the Gypsy King, and we've seen him get successes in the previous fight. And yeah, maybe if he's more aggressive, it would be a different fight totally. So I'm not too sure. I'm looking forward to seeing it and watching it as a fan.
When did you first dream of capturing a world title?
I first dreamt of that when maybe a couple of years ago. I think a couple of years ago, I thought, yeah, I think this will be pretty cool to do. Win a world title. Prior to that, I was more focused on winning like British titles and what else, like other international titles. But I think I made a plan to win the world title back in 2017, and I made a plan to win the British title around then as well. So on my list, I think I'm probably like a year out, a year or two out.
Early or late?
Late.
Okay.
But I think that was due to COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What happens on June 15th?
Richard Riakporhe becomes the WBO cruiserweight champion.
Richard, pleasure's all mine. Looking forward to the fight. Looking forward to fight night. Thank you for speaking to SecondsOut, sir. All the in your dream.